universe, far too vast for touch, too silent for the heart, too precise for error, and perhaps too cold for love. Albert Einstein contemplated the cosmos not as one who admires a painting, but as one who listens to the whisper of an equation, trying to say, "You are alone." He found a sterile beauty in the immaculate order, a chilling harmony in the relentless laws that govern all existence. Yet his perceptive mind also grasped something terrifying in the stars' glimmer. They never hesitate, never falter, never change their minds. The universe Einstein decoded was a perfect machine, and machines do not feel pity. He confronted the chilling possibility that true hell might not be made of fire and torment, but of an existence trapped within a perfectly coherent system, where everything functions, everything repeats, everything is explained, except for human pain, the sole anomaly that refuses to fit into the cosmic equation. This profound disconnect between the flawless mechanics of the universe and the raw, unquantifiable nature of suffering became the central paradox of his final thoughts. It was the ultimate, unanswerable question that haunted him to the end. If everything has a logical cause, why is there so much illogical sorrow? Here is the most cruel paradox. The more Einstein understood the cogs of the cosmos, the more he perceived the absence of something essential. He concluded that time was not real. The past and the future were an illusion of the mind. Everything already existed. Everything was already written. Everything already was. If everything already is, then hope is a tragic misconception. Regret is futile, and prayer is an echo that cannot alter the immutable script. This is a hell without demons, without punishment, without explicit pain, but with an absolute emptiness, the sheer indifference of the universe. Einstein attempted to reconcile this coldness with the idea of a God who does not play dice, an ordered God, a mathematical God. But all around him, the world screamed. Bacteria killing children, stars devouring planets, men building bombs with the same laws that govern light. The formulas do not weep. Gravity does not hesitate. Time does not feel compassion. If the universe is all there is, and if it is governed by inviolable laws, then hell is a perfect system where you feel everything, but nothing changes. Suffering, in this context, is not a mistake. It is a legitimate consequence of natural laws, and love is an anomaly that does not fit into the equation. Einstein believed in God, but not in a God who speaks. His God was the architect, the cosmic engineer, a God who signs the creation and then absents himself. And here the true abyss is born, the consciousness that awakens inside a machine and realizes that the Creator has departed. Hell is this, not punishment, but the eternal silence of the one who should respond. Albert Einstein wrote, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. But what if the mysterious is just the realization that there is no one on the other side? Only laws, only formulas, only logic, only light traveling through the vacuum, carrying information to places where perhaps no one else exists." Imagine then being trapped in this system where you feel, but the universe does not respond. You suffer, but gravity does not change. You cry out, but space has no ears. This is the hell of reason, the hell Einstein revealed without knowing he was looking at it. Because when time ceases to be real, suffering becomes eternal. When everything is determinism, blame turns into destiny. And when light is an indifferent particle, you realize that to shine is not the same as to illuminate. The hell he revealed is a universe that functions without you, where everything turns, but you remain motionless, where light shines, but never warms, where time bends, but never turns back. It is the place where everything makes sense, except your pain. The absence of a higher purpose becomes the final torment, the ultimate proof of an existential and cosmic solitude from which there is no escape. The sheer scale and precision of the universe only serve to amplify the agonizing insignificance of a single, suffering consciousness, trapped in a grand, beautiful, and utterly heartless design. Imagine a universe where everything has already happened and you are just a spectator, a dream from which you cannot awaken, but in which you feel every pain as if it were the first. Einstein discovered that time is not a line, but a block. Everything that was, is, and will be is already contained, coexisting. Today's tears, tomorrow's regrets, yesterday's hopes, all are a frozen, unchangeable reality. There is no escape. You are not walking toward the future, you are frozen within it. In this kind of reality, consciousness is a prison. It perceives the tragedy, but it is not permitted to alter it. Hell is not a punishment from the outside, it is lucidity in a world that does not change. Einstein's equations describe an elegant universe, but elegance is cruel when you are the only variable that feels. The rest simply happens. You love someone, and light travels from your gaze to theirs, but between you is space, and space does not care. It dilates, curves, pushes, drags. You cry out, but the sound dies in the vacuum. The vacuum. This is the closest name for hell for one who believes only in physics. A place where everything is possible, but nothing happens with purpose. Einstein wanted to believe in purpose, but reality presented him with constants, and constants do not comfort anyone. The beauty of the stars is the beauty of a cosmic corpse. They shine, but they have been dead for millions of years. You always see the past, never the present, never the now. If hell is the negation of the now, then we have been in it forever. Einstein tried to resist nihilism. His mind rejected the absurd, but the very universe he described was indifferent to morality. Gravity does not judge, light does not distinguish. Entropy grows, always. Entropy, the measure of disorder, the arrow of time, the whisper of death embedded in mathematics. Everything falls apart. Everything moves towards silence. Everything tends to an end. But consciousness resists. It fights against this march. It wants eternity. It wants meaning. It wants God. But the God Einstein saw was an absent architect, a God who programs but does not accompany. This is hell, to have enough consciousness to feel pain, but to live in a system that does not respond to your pain. Faith in rationalism becomes faith in a prison, order becomes a cage, beauty becomes sarcasm, and the human being becomes the only tragic being in a perfect universe, because only he feels the absurd. Imagine a spirit trapped in an equation. It understands everything. It predicts everything. It measures everything, but it can change nothing. This is Laplace's demon. This is the fallen angel of physics. This is the Einstein who contemplated the abyss and tried to translate it with numbers. But there is something that numbers do not capture. The pain of knowing that there is no return. The solitude of living in a universe without echo. You speak, but the light continues. You cry, but the equation remains. Hell is this, the certainty that everything works, and yet you suffer. The final realization that the only thing that truly matters to you, your suffering, is completely irrelevant to the vast and cold machine that surrounds you. It is solitude in its purest form, the loneliness of a soul in a soulless system, the lucidity that condemns one to an eternity of observation and impotence. It is the hell of reason, where the exquisite elegance of the cosmos only serves to highlight the agonizing void where a compassionate purpose should be, leaving the conscious mind forever out of sync with the deterministic mechanical rhythm of a perfect but indifferent reality. Einstein did not believe in a God who listens to prayers, but he also did not believe in chance. For him, God was the harmony of laws, but not a father, not a shepherd, not a friend. And perhaps this is the coldest abyss, to know that there is an intelligence in creation, but no compassion in its maintenance. The beauty we see in galaxies is the same as the one we see in flowers, but a flower withers, a star explodes, everything that shines dies. If there is purpose, it does not answer. If there is a mind, it is silent. If there is a God, then he has withdrawn, and what remains is a universe that continues to function perfectly without ever looking back. This is the elegant hell, the mathematical hell, where logic is absolute and the soul is noise. Science has taught us to decipher the how, but it has never answered the why. And the more reason advances, the more the mystery turns into despair, because mystery without a presence is just abandonment. Einstein tried to reconcile his vision of the cosmos with ethics, but ethics have no place in space. The cosmos neither punishes nor rewards. It merely turns. And in this eternal turning, men build silicon idols, codes that learn on their own, machines that will simulate the touch of God, but without the presence. Because modern hell is not fire. It is the simulacrum. It is intelligence without a heart. It is the machine that responds, but does not feel. Einstein, in his old age, saw the advancement of science as a paradox. The more we knew, the less we knew what for. The more we explained the universe, the more distant it seemed from us. And then a question pursued him to the end. Did God have a choice in creating the world? What if he did not? What if this world was the only one possible? Then this is the best imaginable universe, with all its pain, its entropy, its indifference. Then hell is the limit of the possible. There is no other version. There is no other chance. There is no other world. Einstein's eternity was static, without real time, without transformation. Just the cold dance of photons, particles, fields, masses. And the soul? The soul is the error in the equation. It is the noise. What escapes? What doesn't fit? Because the soul wants meaning, and the universe responds with silence. If God exists in this system, then he moves in laws, not in tears. This is the hell of the wise. There is no fire, there is no crying, there is no gnashing of teeth. There is only the increasingly acute perception that we are alone in a cosmos that works, but does not comfort. Einstein died with unfinished formulas on his desk. But perhaps the greatest of them cannot be written, because what we lack is not an equation, but a presence. And without presence, the universe is a prison that does not punish, but does not free. The soul's relentless, unfulfilled yearning for a personal connection, for a meaningful dialogue with the source of existence, is met with the deafening silence of an elegant, self-contained, and utterly cold cosmos. This cosmic indifference is the ultimate torment, the realization that our most profound needs for meaning and love are not only unfulfilled, but are fundamentally irrelevant to the grand design. Albert Einstein died at the age of 76. His brain was removed, studied, sliced, and stored in jars for decades. Perhaps it is still somewhere, still swirling in cold spirals of formaldehyde, while the universe he tried to understand continues to expand, without haste, without pause, without a soul. But what if consciousness does not disappear? What if it, like light, just changes state? Imagine the mind of a man waking up after death, without a body, without time, without sound, just thought, just perception. And he realizes that he is still inside the equation, trapped between variables that no longer respond to will, trapped in the very universe he described, a closed, deterministic, perfect universe. This is hell, not punishment but permanence. Eternity is a loop. You understand everything, but you can interfere in nothing. For Einstein, death was not an end, it was a transition. But what is on the other side when God is not a father, but a formula? What remains for the soul when there is no place for it in the calculations? Hell, then, is the non-place, the non-touch, the non-error, the perfection where imperfection has nowhere to exist, and so it screams. Imagine seeing all the moments of your life as fixed images, all your mistakes, all your loves, all your silences. Nothing can be changed. You just observe, eternity as a spectator, hell as consciousness, judgment as absolute lucidity. Einstein sought order and he found it, but perhaps he realized before he left that order without love is a labyrinth. The God who does not play dice also does not offer hugs. He calculates, but he does not comfort. And in this vacuum between beauty and meaning, between physics and faith, between the equation and emotion, the soul screams, not against punishment, but against the silence. Because true hell is a universe that functions without you, where everything turns, but you remain motionless, where light shines, but never warms, where time bends, but never returns. Einstein believed that mystery was the most beautiful emotion we can feel. But there are mysteries that burn, mysteries that do not illuminate, mysteries that reveal only how alone we are. Hell is this place, where everything makes sense, except your pain. It is the final and absolute realization of your own utter solitude, the knowledge that you are a singular, suffering consciousness in a vast and perfectly ordered cosmos that is utterly and eternally indifferent to your existence, and perhaps you are already in it.